Hey guys, I'm Prateek and welcome to the Uni Insider series. This is the show for aspirants looking to pursue a program from a foreign university. In the next half hour, you will get access to some amazing information like program details, university details, tips on how to get part time jobs, placement situation, and much more. On today's episode, we will be speaking with Rishabh Soni, who pursued his Masters in Management from IE Business School. For those of you who don't know, MIM or Masters in Management is a premium postgraduate degree targeted towards individuals who have just graduated or are young professionals. As for IE Business School, it puts a strong focus on entrepreneurship and its MIM program has been consistently ranked in top 10 by QS World University Rankings. I'm sure Rishabh would have a lot more to say on this, so without further ado, let's begin. Hey Rishabh, it's a pleasure to have you on Uni Insider. Before we talk about the program in general, why don't you tell our audience a bit about yourself?
Hi Pratik. First of all, glad to be here. I'll try to give out all the inside information your viewers might be looking for on this podcast. And hi guys, I'm Rishabh Soni. I'm based in Mumbai and I'm currently working as an executive partner at Orex Development Group. It's a real estate development company. Besides that, I have also recently started with a real estate venture named Union Co-Living. So I've done my masters in management from I Business School, as you mentioned, and I passed out in the year 2018. So it's been almost 2 years since I graduated.
That's awesome. And what were your reasons behind pursuing a Masters in Management program?
So as I mentioned about my current role at Orex Development Group, it's a family business that has been there since a few years, and I always wanted to join that. So basically, before I did my engineering from Manipal University in civil, and which would helped me in the family business in real estate and construction, but it wasn't enough, I felt, because just the technical knowledge wouldn't have helped me much to improve or be a value add in the business. So I wanted to get a hang of the business side and become a bit business savvy. And Masters in Management seemed like a perfect program because it's a short 10 to 11-month course. It's very intense. Plus, it doesn't require any work experience or any doesn't have any prerequisites. So I decided to pursue MIM once I've worked for a year after my engineering and gave my GMAT and applied to I. And I specifically because it's one of the highest. It was one of the highest ranked business schools then, and I also really got attracted by I's program based around entrepreneurship and diversity and the focus on practical task driven mindset.
That's great. So, what would you say would be an ideal profile to get into the program? Can you tell us about the undergrad background requirements, the GPA, GMAT requirements, and other important things?
Talking about undergrad background requirements, as I mentioned, there are no prerequisites as such because, like me coming from an engineering background and moving to a business school, it was totally different from me because I've never learned about business after we pass out our 10th. So there are no undergrad requirements as such, but I Business School is like they focus on diversity. So not only like they try to get people from different countries, different nations, people from coming from different backgrounds. So I was an engineer, and there were people from social science or from economics and from all different sectors. So I is literally a collection of flags. I would say the MM program had people from over 60 countries, and the class itself had people from more than 30 countries, and every student had a different background or brought something unique to the table. Uh,
Okay.
Talking about basic qualifications, as you asked, a GMAT score of 660 should be enough if you have a good overall profile, or a GRE score of 315 should be good enough to get in. Besides this, I would like to mention that I has designed its own entrance exam named iGate, which I didn't know about when I was applying to I. But if anyone's focus is just getting into I and is not planning to apply to other business schools, they should definitely prefer giving iGate over GMAT because it's comparatively easier and takes less time to prepare for it. Yeah.
Okay. And was there any work experience requirement when you applied to the program?
No, so as they mentioned, it's they literally take people with zero work experience, or the maximum they would allow is 2 years. So if you have work experience over 2 years, they recommend you to do the IMBA. And the good thing about ICE doesn't really judge you on the basis of your undergrad scores, but like it takes into consideration your overall life experience. So not the work experience, but if you have done any kind of social service work or internships during your undergrad university, or if you have been part of the clubs or made any brought any positive change during your university, it really impresses them. Besides this, if you they really look if you're a self starter. So besides the GMAT and your undergrad scores, the SOPN interview is a really good chance where you should be able to prove if you are worth I. So they really check if you are a self starter, if you have been an entrepreneur and made an attempt to be one. So even if you have a failed startup, it really impresses them because they know that you made an attempt. So WorkX is not a requirement, but any kind of another experience is a real add-on.
Okay, so you mean to say that any kind of entrepreneurial experience would be a good experience to have when you're applying to a
Right.
master's program at I.
Yes.
Perfect. Let's talk about the class diversity. So, what was the gender ratio like? How many different nationalities were there in your batch?
So as I mentioned, there were like people from MIM program had around people from 60 different countries, and the number could be more if we talk about the university, the business school itself. The gender ratio was almost 50-50 or like 55-45. So they really tried to maintain that as well. And so as I mentioned, really focuses on diversity. So they have this cool thing that before every semester starts, they divide the entire class into groups of 7 to 8 people, where each person is from different country and with different skill set, and you got to work with these guys throughout the semester. So basically 80% of the program is group projects, and you have to work with this group to get all your projects done. And it seems easy, but it's really difficult because everyone is so different, coming from different countries. They have a different set of morals. Like talking about punctuality, like uh, people from India might are a bit laid back, and like Germans are really on the point, and so it there are a lot of
Yeah.
arguments and there are a lot of issues, but then you have a single goal of getting good grades, and you really learn how to work, how to get the work done. It's more like a real life work experience.
So you could say team management is like a really important factor when you work with different nationalities.
Right, yeah.
Okay, cool. And can you tell us a bit about the course curriculum? So, what kind of subjects did you have in your first year, and what were the focus areas and subjects?
So the entire program is like 10 to 11 months program. The course is divided into 3 semesters, basically, with first semester being the longest and the most intense. And from second semester, uni
Mhm.
actually wants you to focus on applying and networking. But the first two semesters are the general management subjects like corporate finance or business strategy, supply chain, accounting. So all the general management subjects you need to learn. And then third semester is where you choose your specialization. So the specialization options range from international business to digital business, finance, investment. And they do keep coming up with new specialization options each year as they stay updated with the global trends. So they don't really stick to a pre-designed course plan like our country. They keep updating and upgrading it each year to keep up to date as they understand what the new age companies want and want their students to obtain those competitive skills.
Okay, that's great. What about professors? Did you have any interesting professors teaching you during your time at IE Business School?
There are so all the professors are like, they do have some work experience from the corporate sector, and uh, they are not only into teaching, they have worked in the real world, and so they bring stories from those experiences to the class, which is really good. Because so we had for example, for economics, we had a professor who was an advisor to Michael Porter, a well-known economist, or he was an advisor to the United Nations Economics Committee, and like a lot of cool things. And a supply chain professor who was the supply chain head of Zara, for example.
Wow.
So they really get.
Okay. I think it's essential to have such kind of professors in every business school who have practical experience in their, you can say, pocket, because, uh, like in some cases, professors just know the theoretical topics and they are not able to relate it to the real world. But when you have professors like the ones that you have at
Mhm.
your business school, that really brings out the best in everyone,
Like,
I
yeah,
believe.
totally, they don't stick to the bookish knowledge. Like, they would teach you what's written, what's the theory, and then they really tell you how do you actually implement it, and what kinds of problem you face while implementing it. So theory is very easy, but executing it in real
Right.
life is the problem, and they know what kinds of problems you face, and that's where their experience helps you gain an insight into the real world.
Yeah, that's absolutely great. Let's move on to the next question, which is about internships. So, did you have to pursue one during your 11-month span of the program?
So you don't really get time to do an internship because it's a very short course and it's very intense. So it's impossible to do a part-time job or an internship during the program, because it's like a Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 to 6 college program, and then you have to work with your group on different projects and stuff. So internship is not there, but I has this things like they keep organizing every break. They have this thing called Global Immersion Week, for example, which they organize during the Easter's break. So it's really, they try to give you an experience what it's really like to run a business on global scale. They take you to different destinations. For example, during my year, they took people to they had three options. You can either go to San Francisco, Silicon Valley, or Shanghai, or Tel Aviv, Israel. So,
Wow.
and like each visit has different core of the discussion. So, the people who went to Silicon Valley, for example, they took them to Google's campus and helped them network and get an insight how they really work and what's upcoming and how the modern technology is developed, like to LinkedIn, to Tesla. So
Right.
yeah. So that's what they plan every year. And besides this, they have
And
this.
can you just repeat when do they plan this in between the program?
So this is around Easter's break normally. So March, April is the time.
Uh,
So you actually
is
have.
it? Yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to know if it's part of the first semester or the second or the third one.
So it's between second and third semester. We have a week-long break. So this is optional. You can actually go for it or not.
And
Mhm.
would you say if you went to one of these internships, there's a higher probability of you getting placed in the companies that you visit?
I'm not sure if it really helps you in the placements, but makes you think about your decision, probably. Like maybe reconsider your uh, like you might just get interested into a new thing totally. So like Israel visit
Hmm.
is a lot about agriculture, which is totally different, and people don't really want to pursue career in there. But like if you go there and get an insight on what's happening, so it maybe help you decide on your life choices, but no, not exactly helps with the placement.
I was just thinking, India being an agricultural country,
Mhm.
um, but there are hardly any youngsters who are interested in working in the agricultural space.
Right.
So
So
if
that's why
someone,
yeah.
yes, continue.
So like Israel is where a lot of agriculture development is happening, and that's why the
Yeah,
IE takes you there and like gets you interested in things which are happening. Maybe you're not aware because it's
yep.
not too cool, but then yeah, they give an insight
Yeah,
and
but if someone like someone from India who goes to this summer internship at Israel, and if he really gets interested in the kind of development which is happening there in the agricultural space, and if they bring that kind of technologies back in India, that would be like
right,
purely
right.
amazing.
That's what the point is of the entire
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's one thing that I gets it right when it comes to internships.
Yeah.
It helps you connect with impactful projects happening all around the world.
Mhm.
So, looking at the past couple of years' data, what would you say? What are the kind of companies that hire specific to the program that you did?
So there's no specific sector again because it's a general management degree. So companies from all sectors, like there were tech companies who hired companies like Google, Amazon, Facebook, Salesforce, or consulting companies like BCG Bain and investment banks, FMCG firms, and like so there were like top league companies of all these segments recruited people from IE.
Okay.
And yeah, so but it's really difficult, I would say, for non-Europeans to really get a job because of the visa policy there. So you don't really get to stay after your graduation, like not even a single day. So
Oh
you
wow.
either get a yeah, you either get a job before you graduate, but it's very difficult since it's just a 10-month program. Plus language is a big issue because all the European countries normally have their local language and they try to work in that. So like Spain specifically,
Hmm.
it's impossible to get a job if you are not fluent in Spanish. Again, the
Okay.
visa policy is not very friendly. So for non-Europeans, it's very difficult. But yeah, all the Europeans who didn't have the visa issue did get placed in the top companies.
Um, that's some useful information.
Mhm.
And what would you say? What are the kind of skills that these companies are looking for?
So I think it's very company specific again. So if you want to get into investment banking, you should be really good with finance and should have done specialization in finance and should have a basic background. So that, or like if you're into consulting, you have to be smart and good with your people skills, your presentation skills, your math. So it varies as per the sector and the profile you are applying for. But IE has this placement department where they have appointed professional advisors for each sector. So if you want to work, say, in consulting, the consulting advisor will help you with your resume and the kind of skills you need to build from the start of the program and help you reach out to the alumni network throughout the world.
Okay.
So yeah, so
So,
they have professional advisors for each sector.
okay. So the university does help you in some way when it comes to placements,
They
which is connecting you
do
with
try a
the
lot.
alumni.
Yes, yes. So they keep organizing these events as well, where the companies like alumni from different companies come and give an insight into their company and kind of roles available and give students a networking opportunity. So again, it's not like India where companies come directly for placements on the basis of grades. You really need to network well
Right.
and show your skills. So that's how it works there.
So, was coming back to India your decision, or did you, if had you got the chance to work in, uh, Europe, would you have taken that? Is my question.
Uh, I'm still not sure if I'd have got something really good, like I wanted to get into consulting. So if I'd got something in
Hmm.
consulting or probably in investment banking, I would have stayed longer. But yeah, I have anyway eventually wanted to come back to India, and I had this in mind when I applied for IE. So like for your viewers as well, if you're actually going to Spain or to IE, don't expect to be able to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
You should have a backup plan, or if you actually plan to come back, is the only option, because it's really difficult to grab opportunities there. Like there are very few.
Okay. And did any of the Indians in your batch got placed, or any of the non-European people?
Uh, a friend of mine did get an internship, and um, it was perfect for him because they were looking for someone who could speak English in the Spanish team, and he actually got lucky and was good with his engineering background as well.
Okay.
So no one else besides him. Oh, another friend who did MIM but had done CFA, pursued CFA before, so that helped again getting a job in finance. So you should have an
Mhm.
exceptional profile compared to Europeans, so that the companies could consider sponsoring or visa. But that's again still very difficult, because MIM you really don't have much of work experience, and like it's really difficult to have a different profile compared to your average class profile.
Okay. Understood. So let's talk about scholarships. Does the university offer any sort of scholarships to incoming students?
Yeah, they do have a lot of scholarship. They have like 20 scholarships, and based on different things, based on your country and your financial requirement, or if you have been an entrepreneur, or if you it's the process is very simple. You have to just write an SOP and show why you need it and why you deserve it. And I
Okay.
think there are more details on the IE website. So I'm not. Yeah.
Okay. So I think we could just um, link the information for our viewers and they
Yeah,
can read it themselves. I think that would be a better plan.
great.
Uh, my next question to you is, um, what were some of the other universities you applied to?
So I had applied for SADE, which is based in Barcelona, and RSM, which is in Netherlands, and ESCP, which is based in France, but they have like every semester in different country. So 4 semesters,
Oh, wow.
4 different countries. So that was, yeah, very cool.
So
Yeah.
why did you choose the one that you chose?
So I chose I specifically because it was higher rank than all of them. Plus, I don't know, they had this again because of the global immersion week I mentioned, and I actually plan to do an international exchange program. So I has that as well. Like after your program, you get an opportunity to go to another university. I has tie-ups with 50 universities throughout the world, like Netherlands, Canada, US, India as well. So you get to do that as well. Plus, it
Okay,
was a
that's
very
interesting.
short program. So yeah, I wanted to get an intense program done within 10 months. So yeah, I as well. Like ranking made a big difference in my decision as well. But yeah, other things on this.
Okay, got it. And when you say they have tie-ups with colleges in India,
Mm.
can you name some of the colleges they have a tie-up with?
So I like in India they are tied up with IIM Bangalore and IIM Coimbatore,
Oh, wow.
and
So,
yeah.
yeah, that's pretty awesome. So, if someone does want to come back after doing the program, having that exchange program, uh, I mean, doing their final semester in IIM Bangalore would be a good option. Wouldn't you
Right.
say
So
that?
yeah, yeah, definitely. So like even other universities outside, like in London, they're tied up with London Business School, for example. US, they have planned a bigger semester with the Yale, and like Canada with UBC. So like top universities of all other countries, and it's a good opportunity, and it's like a 3 month program, so you can definitely do that once your IE program is done. It's good exposure, good experience, I'm sure.
Thanks, Rishabh, for that amazing information. We will be taking a small break here. In the next part of the interview, I will be asking you a few questions on your time spent in Spain and especially at IE Business School. Welcome back, everyone. Let's begin with the second half of the interview. So, Rishabh, when you shifted to Spain, what was the thing you most struggled with?
So I think you should really learn Spanish before you go to get around the city, and it also helps you in improving your overall experience. Because if you like, it's really difficult to go around like visiting supermarkets, restaurants. If you really don't know Spanish, it makes a big hassle. Plus,
Okay.
yeah, cooking obviously, because being Indian, our taste buds are very. We need those masalas, and like Spanish food is very bland. Uh, Plus, being a vegetarian, it was difficult for me anyway to get food at every corner. So again, and plus you'll save a lot if you really know to cook. So you don't really get much time to cook, but yeah, if you can manage and if you are good at it, yeah, cooking and Spanish, I would say, are the two things.
Okay, got it. And was it too difficult to find a house?
So I actually booked it while I was in India. It's not that difficult. I booked through a website called Spot Home. They give this really cool virtual tours of all the apartments, and seems very legit. So I booked it through them, and they hold it's refundable until you go stay for a day and you like the apartment. So I pre-booked it before even having a look, and I so this was in first semester, and for the second and third semester I booked it while visiting the apartments, so closer to uni. So it's always better you stay close to uni, because it's traveling is easy in Madrid, but then again everyone from IE stays around. So if you want to chill with your friends, meet, work in the group projects, it makes it a lot easier if you.
Well, thanks for that information. So, let's another thing that our viewers would like to know is about part-time jobs. So, like when you go pursue a program in a foreign university, it's obviously very expensive, and majority of the people pursue part-time jobs when they are pursuing any master's program. So, can you tell us a bit about the situation in Madrid?
So I'm not sure, because none of us actually got a chance. Plus, because as I said, it's an intense program. You can't find time to do a part-time job. It's impossible to get one, or
Okay,
like not getting one, but yeah, to have one, because with spending your entire day at uni, it's impossible. You'll be affecting your academics. So instead,
okay, got it. So you mean to say when for this particular program at IE, if you're pursuing MIM at IE, you're not able to pursue any part-time jobs.
right, yeah.
Perfect. And what, according to you, should be a student's monthly budget? Like how much should one spend on groceries, accommodation, etc.?
Um, I think 1,000 euros is good enough. So accommodation is close to uni, where uni is in like a good posh location of Madrid. So you end up spending almost 500 to 600 euros for a decent place, and
Mm-hmm.
then like 400 euros for rest of your groceries and eating out and partying and everything. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
400 to 500, like 1,000 to 1,100 euros per month should be good enough.
All right.
Yeah.
And which local banks would you recommend to our audience to have a bank account in, obviously?
So I recommends a bank named Sabadell, which I was using as well. They have branches in every corner of Madrid, so pretty convenient. And the another one is Santander. So these are the two banks you could look at.
So, are there any fun things you can do on campus? Can you tell us a bit about your campus's unique features?
So I really doesn't have a campus. They are like they have a lot of buildings on the same street spread out, and
Mm-hmm.
like few of the buildings are really historic. So like the university is pretty old, so that's about it. But like the city overall is very chill. It's very historic. There's so many things to explore. It's home to two famous football clubs, so it's a huge thing there if you're a football fan. We ended up watching a few matches at Santiago Bernabeu, which is like a every football fan's dream. And
Wow.
there are a lot of other things throughout the city to walk around. And like Spanish nightlife is the best anyway. So from like pop malls, and if you're a party animal, get ready to have long nights, because they like the Europeans or the Spanish people, at least they party all night. Like this, the parties normally start at 2 and goes up to 6 in the morning, and then there are after
Oh,
parties as well. So you actually reach home after your breakfast at times.
seems like a few crazy nights during your time there.
Yeah, so Madrid is really crazy. So I had a chance to go around Europe, visit other cities as well, but I couldn't
Yeah.
find a nightlife like Madrid throughout. That's pretty cool. Plus, with your university IE friends, and IE also keeps organizing a lot of stuff, and you end up going out every Friday, Saturday, or like actually weekdays as well.
Is it like Ranbir's life in Ye Jawani Hai Diwani, like when he's roaming around in those European cities? Can we like was your life that way when you were in I business
My
school?
mine was not, but if you have that kind of budget, it can be there. Unlike India, you can actually have a life like that.
That's crazy. And on a less fun note, did you have any clubs, annual events happening in your college?
So there are a lot of clubs and they are pretty active. For example, there was this consulting club. They keep organizing consulting case cracking to practice the real interview. So even if you're not into consulting, but you get to learn a lot in the events, which it's pretty intense. Besides this, there was this not a club, but it's called Venture Lab, because I is really big on entrepreneurship. So Venture Lab is where you can go with a business idea and talk to the Venture Lab head, and if it's pretty cool, you can actually present it in front of many people. So every Wednesdays they have this session where you can go present a business idea, get recommendations, suggestions, get advisors, investors as well. So, and even if you don't have an idea, you can just go visit to get to know what's happening in world. So that was pretty cool as well. And Venture Lab has
That's
a tie-up
perfect.
with Heineken, so you get free tours as well. That's yeah.
Yeah, sounds fun. My last question to you is, at this point in time, how do you feel about your decision to pursue a MIM degree from IE Business School?
So it was one of the craziest and the best years of my lifetime, I would say. But and it was a really learning experience. It helped me jumpstart my skills. But uh, overall, as I said, the placement part, getting a job, if you really want to work there, and if you're investing such a big amount and uh, want to recover it there and then, it's difficult for non-Europeans, as I said. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I should, I feel improve on that part if they can help the incoming students with the visa policy, or focus more on the non-European students instead of the European students, and get opportunities for them. So this is where they can improve to attract more students from other parts of the world.
Well, that concludes the show. Thanks, Rishabh, for being part of the interview and telling us so much about the IEMIM program.
Great, thank you. I was glad to be here.
Thanks for listening to the Uni Insider series. If you have some additional questions, add them in the comments down below. If you're listening to this as a podcast, visit our YouTube channel, The Insider Talks, and add your question under the IEMIM video. Have a great day.